All right, so far we have learnt about liquidity, we have learnt about order blocks, we have learnt about um what do you call it, imbalance, we have learnt about a whole lot of things that I've thought about market structure, which probably the video is not uploaded yet, but will be uploaded after this one. But so I'm putting everything that I've recorded so far so that you guys can be able to understand, and also be able to um, analyze your own charts and have a sense of understanding of what we have been talking about. So when we come to market structure, I explained that market structure is just a series of higher highs and higher lows when it comes to the uptrend, and lower lows and lower highs when it comes to the downtrend, right? And hence that is what we are going to exhibit here. But in this case, we are going to take um, the buy trend, which is higher highs and higher lows. All right. So we are going to analyze the market together. So when we come to the weekly time frame, we can actually see we have a series of breakout structure, which is probably this one, right? And we have our low here, our high, our low, our higher low, then our higher high. Probably the next we'll be expecting is probably price breaking this, giving us the next higher high, right? But before that, so we are going to now understand. So now we're going to check and then be able to highlight our weekly low and then weekly high. And so right this case that we don't have a breakout structure on either side, we don't have a new high created yet, so hence this whole range is inside of this particular swing high, right? Okay, so let's just highlight our swing high being this and this, right? And as you can see, the last time I mentioned that anytime you have a breakout structure, you are probably always presented with what, an order block, most of the times. And I mentioned that an order block is basically the last down move. In this particular case, we have, in this particular case, as an uptrend, as a bullish trend, it is always the last down move candle before the up move, right? In the sense that the last down move candle become the order block. Okay, so that is always what I spoke about the other times. And in this case, you are expecting price to come and tap into this and roll back to the upside. All right. Okay, so now that we know that another block is basically the last down move can before an up move, we are basically now trying to choose our last down move can before the up move. So our last down move can will be this particular one, and as you can see, right, we always expect to see price to strongly break the last down move candle before the up move, not just leave a candle behind. So now that this candle has not engulfed this one, if I talk about engulf, I mean just like this huge candle has engulfed this particular one, I want that thing to happen, right? So now that this particular candle right here, I mean this one, right, I mean this one right here hasn't engulfed this one, so we are now going to be shifting the order block from this to this, which is what I called refinement, right? So with this, you can see our order block is here. Our order block now becomes this one. Then now our order block clear becomes this, and you can see as price broke the structure, it came down, tapping into the order block, and now started moving away from price. So now let's move to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we precisely are going to also target our ranging markets. So you can see price came and took this and went to the upside without even leaving anything. And now from here we have um another range. So I spoke about the series of higher highs and higher lows. So you see we have a break here, a break here, and a break here too as well. So this one becomes our low and this becomes our high. And I made mention that anytime you want to determine as whether price is a low or a high, make sure it has started pulling back. When immediately the price starts pulling back without breaking any structure, it becomes either a high or a low, right? So this place becomes a high or a low. So just basically for your little understanding that you might get from me. All right. So with this, right, we now have this as our range. We are swing high on the daily and then our swing high on the daily as well, right? Swing low and then swing high. So let's just list them up. Okay, so now we have our swing high and swing low. We also know that our order block is precisely this one, right? So we'll just highlight this one as, so it is practically always, as I mentioned, the last up move candle or a down move candle before an up move. And you can see as price has tapped into it already, so the next candle becomes our order block. But if price doesn't tap into it, bear in mind that it is still valid to pick up the previous candle as your order block, right? Because it's not all the time that price is practically is going to come back to your order block to tap into it and run, right? So now let's go to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour, we do have a new range high and a range low. So we have basically this one. So you can see, as I mentioned, price hasn't actually tapped into this, and price has already started breaking structures to the upside, as you can see, and it has created a very nice order block as this one. So you can see a low, a high, a lower low, and this one has been created a higher high breaking the previous low, right? This is more of an advance, like basically on the lower time frame that you basically see this, but it is valid order block as such. So you have your low and your range low and then your range high, probably the 4-hour high and low. Now let's move to the one now. So when we get to the one now, we'll now look at this place and get our order block. So I didn't highlight the 4-hour order block. So basically this is the 4-hour order block, right? So this is your 4-hour order block, and this 4-hour order block, you see it has been tapped into by this particular candle right here. So because I'll be having order blocks or other order blocks on this, let me basically just delete this. I didn't set my chart, so probably I would have practically have a different way of doing it. When I shift the time frame, you'll not be able to see it on the different time frame apart from the 4-hour only. All right, so now we have series of higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame, as you can see. So we have your low here, which is basically, as I always label it, let's label this. So I have this as my breakout structure below, and I'm going to also have this as well as my breakout structure above, right? And with this breakout structure, the breakout structure happened after this particular candle pushed high, then broke the structure. So hence our order blocks becomes this one, and as you can see, last candle to last down move candle before an up move, right? So you can see this becomes our order block. So now that this is now our order block, we now know that from here we are going to be entering our trade from this place, and our stop loss just basically below the order block, and our first target being this particular one, second target being the weekly high, the daily high, sorry, the 4-hour rather. So let me just see the daily, okay. Then we have the other one being the weekly structure. That is basically going to be our target, which will be target around 22%. But mind you, this is a string structure approach, right? So when we come to intradays, that one to also be rolled up on our day-to-day sessions as we have our live sessions. All right, so with this, right, we have our order block here, and I just want to basically refine it on the 15 minutes. Oh my god, so I had a range change actually. So let me just minimize this and we see if we can go back to where price is to practically get our data back, right? I'm minimizing it so we don't know where it is, right? So this is still, oh my god, this is still plenty, and it's still a whole lot. So on the 15-minute, basically price is not allowing us to go back as it is too much far back in the future. So I'm trying to use this particular approach to teach you on how price actually behaves when it comes to the liquidity, the imbalance, and other stuff, how price reacts to it, and how we refine our order blocks and other stuff too as well. So that is just basically the thing. I think price has just, it has not been able to give us that far back data. So let's just remain on the 1 hour, right, as that place is a little bit better for us to get it. So let's just go to 7/21st of this, and price will deliver it to us right now. Just hold on. Sorry for, I think TradingView doesn't have that much far data to give us, so we have to practically depend on the 1 hour to execute our structure plan and whatsoever we're thinking about. So with this, and I have this, markups will still be there, to still be alright. So we have that, right? So I'll just basically give you the scenario of, so you can see as here we have all the things I've spoke about in my videos. We have the imbalance. Let me give you the imbalance is basically here, right? So let me put it here, and we call that imbalance or inefficiency. efficiency here, and we have our order block here. And let me just say OB, or maybe OB right here. We have our structure break very nicely, as you all can see. So yes, so that's just basically it. So I'm not going to draw the imbalance that much. We have the imbalance here, right? I can just highlight them here and give you an arrow showing that this is the imbalance because the candles has not met. So just for my price structure to be neat, I want to have this clean as possible. And I spoke about you having liquidity. So the liquidity price probably go up, down, then go up, then come, give you some sort of ranging market, then shoot to the downside. So come to that if this particular structure has it. So now we go move to the one, we move again. You can see how price has ranged. So in this case, price has created that move I'm talking about. Price moves up, then it started creating this range before it shoots to the other block and now continues to the upside, right? So now let's put our entry right here, stop loss just there. Then our first target, as I said, always target the first high, then the second high, right? So most of the times we can decide to take half of the trend, right? Can decide to take half of the order block. So most of the times what I do use, we can just take a Fibonacci from your high to your low. But that's most of the time what I do sometimes. And I take this particular one here, but it's not always necessary you take it all the time, because I mostly don't do that all the time. So hence, let's play it out to see how it goes. So as I mentioned, our first low is going to be, so you can see how price has practically just tapped into our order block, right? With the half position we are taking, and now we know this is our high, and on the lower time frame too as well, probably would have been able to find it further for me to give you confirmation entries on other stuff, but yeah, it has not been able to give me that opportunity. So this is basically a confirmation entry that has happened right here. You can see price came back and did all this, and just like that we continue the trend to the upside. First we have hit our first TP, so hence you take your first partials, then you wait for the next one, which is this particular high. And also mind you, right, so as we are going to be managing our trades. So anytime you see price breaking structure on the lower time frames, you set your stop loss just below the low of that particular place, meaning I'm setting mine right here, and we go to the upside. Okay, so if yours was practically here, you have been taken out, as that is basically what I did. I should have let it be broken by this, then set it just below here, because I didn't actually check to see if this was broken. But basically what you have to do is, when this is your high, it is broken. As I said, I don't take wicks as break of structure. So when it is broken, so this should be the break of structure. Your low should be here. So this is your entry, and this is where your stop loss is going to be, as you have locked in profits. And as price continues, price has broken the structure, so you wait for the next low to create another opportunity. And now that we have broken this one, you bring your stop loss again to this place. You're waiting for another opportunity to take that as an advantage, and price has broken structure to the upside. So all let me basically just label them so you can see what I'm talking about. BOS above, BOS above, and we have another break of structure here. Alright, so with this, my order block is basically here, and my stop loss here. Let's change the color to red. Okay, so now we have hit the monthly, the daily rather. We are now heading to the weekly, right? All in one type strategy, markups and other stuff. So you had a low broken from here, so your stop loss would basically be around here, but let's have a more precise area. So now you have a proper break from this place, hence stop loss will be shifted to this one. Your stop loss will now be here, quite close. Your now be targeting. we're supposed to manage this particular type of trade on the lower time frame so that we can get more opportunities to enter this particular type of structure market, right? And this has taken longer than I expected. We should be always be expecting. Most of the times, I always don't feel safe when I'm riding this trend, right? So when I'm riding a longer trend than expected, I just always don't feel safe. But always make sure you wait for confirmation before you're able to take another opportunity. So is this broken? No. Let's go. So this is basically all in one structure. I can't wait to practically see this done because I have other videos to record for you guys. All right, so as you can see, this is basically how we take the structure through. Let me quit the thing and then we go back to the lower time frame. I'll show you how this would have practically been reacted. I'm sure it might not be able to give us there, but yeah. So this is how we practically do it, as I mentioned in the other video.